I'm Elaine.
And I'm Rachel.
And welcome to
Legs Out.
And away we go. This is the podcast where we tell you about Formula One our way. The races, the cars, the drivers. We are obsessed.
And here's why you should be too.
Hi, Rachel.
Hi, Elaine.
Wow. We survived a long, hot weekend at COTA.
We more than survived. We thrived.
That's
this
true.
Is the best week of the year. Every time I'm like, it can't be as perfect as I build it up to be. And every year I'm like, this is the greatest time of my whole life. It's so good. It's so good.
It's, as we said before, it's Christmas, Super Bowl, every major holiday that you look forward to, all of that rolled into one.
Yes. That being said, you're right. Good gracious, it is hot. And we're used to it.
Yeah.
And these poor, particularly British fans are coming and it's rough.
It was
Kudos
extra.
to you guys for, making it through.
Yes, everybody who was there. By the way, we met so many amazing people.
Oh my gosh.
So if you are a new listener, we met you over the weekend. Welcome. We're so happy you're here. Yay. But also, holy crap, it was 95 degrees. We broke records that day.
Yes. Remember when
Saturday.
we said it's October, but pretend that it's summer? Yeah. Austin went for consistency plus a little spice instead of giving us fall. It's now
always
a kind of gorgeous fall-ish day today. And I'm like, really? Here we are talking about weather. But it was such a huge part of the weekend is that you dress up, you look so cute. You then walk from the main gates to where we were on the main straight in the main grandstand, and you look like you have, bless you. It's the dust getting you. You walk through the dust.
Literally.
And you look like you have been
so dusty.
Looking for the mirage in the desert.
Okay, here's what she's referring to, really. You're saying it so lovely. I'm going to spell it out for you. COTA is under fucking construction. They don't know what they're doing. They've created like this giant meandering corn maze around the property instead of making the fastest way possible so you can get from point A to point B, meaning the main grandstands all the way to, I think it's turn 9. There should be a straightaway path, but no. They made it like mini golf, except it's a dusty, dirty path, and it's 95 degrees. The first day, I'm curious to know. Please tell us if you're listening. Write in. Let us know how many miles you walked. I think the first day I made it almost 7 miles.
Oh my gosh. I didn't look at miles. I looked at steps. And I was at, I think, 18,000 steps on Friday.
Yeah.
It declined throughout the week because
Yeah.
I always explore the most on Friday. So I think I was like 17,000 steps on Friday, 15 on Saturday. And then actually by Sunday, I was only at like 9,000 because
Yeah.
I walked to the shuttle. I got on the shuttle. I made it to COTA. I walked to my seat and pretty much I stayed in my seat only to go get my corn dog and then come back for the race. And then we walked back. That's really all I did on Sunday.
Here's what we really want to know. Rachel, how many corn dogs did you
3.
have?
3. For those of you who know me personally, I love a corn dog, but I do it one time a year. That's like a weird special thing for me that it's like, I don't want to overdo a corn dog. And yet I had a corn dog for every day of the race weekend.
And she's not exaggerating. I did have one on Saturday. She bought me a corn dog. Thank you, by the way. That was the best corn dog I've ever had in my life.
Honey dog? Honey corn dog? We'll have to look up the truck.
I thought it was like the Corn Dog Company.
Ooh, maybe.
Whatever. It was a black truck with gold
love
lettering.
it. Yeah.
It was, chef's kiss. 10 out of 10 for that corn dog, baby.
30 out of 10 because I had 3.
You mean so like 30 out of 10 really for you?
Yeah, exactly.
Also, the lemonade. I don't know why we're always stuck on food. If you have not had
of our personality.
one of those like famous fresh lemonades that they make on track, it's so good.
It's everything. It's so good. It's so refreshing.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. Because we did have to fuel both through food and hydrate to get through the heat, but also to sustain our nervous systems because what the heck, so much went on track this weekend.
Yes.
So much that I had to kind of sit and think through today before we press record because we had sprint qualifying. We had sprint. we had qualifying and the race. Plus a free practice, which was really nice, but nothing crazy happened.
Yeah.
But the amount of things, even with a not crazy eventful race on Sunday, unless you're a Charles Leclerc fan, and then you were absolutely glued at the edge of your seat. But yes, you need so much to keep your brain running, because the stimulation being at a race weekend in person is on overdrive.
It's also hundreds of thousands of people. So whether you're an extrovert, an introvert, I mean, even whatever, just being around that many crowds of people shuffling here, there, so many people from different countries, you hear so many different languages. It's really, it's overwhelming for your nervous system.
Yeah. Well, speaking of that, actually, that is what my favorite thing to come out of the weekend is I'm continuing to dwell on why has no other sport ever grabbed me this way. I've kind of famously been not anti-sports, but just like ambivalent, uninterested. And so for Formula One to have captured my heart so thoroughly, we know that I love the drama, that I love the technical things, but each time I interact with the sport, I get a little more clear on what draws me. And one of those key puzzle pieces became clear to me this weekend, in that it is an international fan base. If we go to even a soccer/football game in the States, you may have a few people from out of the country, but largely you're going to have American fans watching an American team. Formula One, just to think of the first three people off the top of my head, talked to someone from Australia, the United Kingdom, and Mexico City for a large length of time. And so these are people who are coming from all corners of the earth to Austin, who have also been to all other corners of the earth to watch different Formula One races.
Yeah.
And so the level of cross-continental data and deliciousness that you get from talking to other Formula One fans just feeds my heart.
Yeah.
It's so satisfying.
You could be so different personality-wise and everything else, and yet you have this in common. And it's such a big thing. It's not like, oh yeah, we just like Formula One. It's like, no, who is your driver? What do you think is going to happen? It's such an involved sport too. The fandom, we're serious about it.
Yeah.
We love it. We love everything about it. So yeah.
What about you? Do you have what do you call it in your household? Rose and thorn? What's your rose of the weekend?
We actually call it an H&L.
H&L.
Which stands for high and low.
There you go.
And we have an N, because in my family we talk about feelings. So this is what makes you nervous. That was a nervous moment.
Was the micro decisions through crowds what makes you nervous? Because that's my N.
Honestly, this was the first year that we took my son on Sunday. He's only 7, and that was really, I leaned around to the backseat and I was like, this is my N. Just so you know, this is my N. Because, there's so many people, just the idea that someone could get swept away. It could happen so easily with the crowds moving in and out. It's like lane traffic with the people, but it's so, Jeff would call it butts to nuts. It's not the most eloquent, jovial thing. But it's like sardined. It's everybody's packed in close. So that was not my favorite. My high, was definitely getting to talk to our good friend of the podcast, Ross. He is a deputy chief scrutineer. And he made the time to come off the track on Friday and talk with us before the sprint quali. And that was just really nice. Just being there, chatting with him about what was actually going on in the paddock, in the garages, getting that sort of inside scoop. And then people would stop him and be like, hey, scrutineer, what does that mean? What do you do? And he had all these long conversations. And then at one point, someone was like, oh, you're a scrutineer, dickhead.
With a giant smile on his face, such that I only saw the smile.
Yeah.
And I generally expect the best out of people, so I thought he was like, cool. And Elaine, disillusioned that from me and said, no, he said an unkind thing.
Yeah.
And Ross just said, yeah, get that all the time.
Rachel was like, oh, yeah, hey, buddy. He thought he was being like, hey, friend. No, he basically was like, oh, you're like the police for the FIA. You're the ones who disqualify my favorite drivers. Fuck you, dickhead. And Ross was like, hey.
Which, to be clear, you know that we have very strong feelings about the FIA. But
yes.
we love Ross.
We
Chief
do.
Deputy Chief Deputy Scrutineer. Say that 3 times fast.
Chief Deputy Scrutineer, Chief Deputy Scrutineer.
Okay, so you're very good at it.
I almost did it. No, but that is interesting. Good point. I think they are just trying to follow the rules that they are given. The FIA are making up rules that suit themselves. There you have it. Anyway, as we were walking through the crowds with Ross, it was like the Golden Sea was parting. It was either like had this special treatment. I couldn't tell if it was that or like we were walking with the principal to the principal's office. Like everyone was like
we had caused some trouble because he did have a very special vest that declared his role, and so you could definitely tell he was with Formula One. He's not just a fan. He was fancy. In charge.
He also, for people who've listened to this podcast before, I did a special episode with Connor where I discussed my obsession with one of the men who works at Red Bull in the garage. Ross found him. I have one picture of him that I have been holding on to for so long. Like, does this man exist? Does he not exist? Who is he? Ross is like, no, it's an AI generated man that they just put in shots. And I was like, haha. He found him. He works in the garage. He works on the tires for Yuki Tsunoda's car. He's front left. If you're in the car, it's stage left. So front left tire.
The team for Yuki on the grid on Sunday were all in these cute little cowboy hats.
OMG.
And they had a tiny little rope, which is not at all in line with what's real, but it's fine. It was adorable. They were just swinging it around and dancing around to the new grid gigs, which is a new feature in American races. They're plopping a musical artist on the grid while the cars are lining up in between the reconnaissance lap and their formation lap later. Reconnaissance lap, it does exist. Just as a reminder, I was correct.
For everyone.
Words.
Toot your horn, Rach.
Anyways, so they were adorable. And yeah, you found your tattooed man.
What did we call it? A garage of pit stops and roses. I don't know what it was.
What a romantasy.
Listen, this is important. I want to find him. I'm going to write a romance novel about his situation.
Should I play you out now?
We should, yep.
Do you want to tell us about the sprint for which you were seated in your seats for? Where was I?
Oh.
Should I shout? Oh, Elaine. I'm still so mad.
Boy, did I feel bad for Rachel. On Saturday, we had made plans to meet there. The shuttle bus took 10 million times longer than Rachel expected.
Yes, which I actually love the shuttle. I say that you're going to be in traffic coming in and out of the circuit either way. I would prefer to be sitting, resting, rather than continuing to have to make decisions about where I'm going to place my car and not running through my own gas. So I will probably, even after this experience, continue to use the shuttle because I think the benefits outweigh the cons. However, yeah, Elaine, it has wonderful...
I don't mess with a shuttle.
Wonderful luck with parking. I do not. And this is another situation where other people are just able to pop in. I do not have that luck. I thought I need to sleep in a little bit on Saturday. Not a ton, but just get like 30 minutes more sleep because I love to pack my F1 week schedule. So I had been running.
Rachel also loves to be early. You should know this about Rachel. She is punctual. If she is not 10 minutes early, she is late.
So usually I'm at, not always when the gates open, but pretty close to the day has begun. That's when I like to have already arrived. I thought people show up all the time just in time for sessions.
Yeah.
I'm going to get there. The sprint was at noon. I was like, great. I'm going to shoot for being at the circuit at 11:15.
Yeah.
45 minutes before the event starts. That should be plenty of time to walk the 20 minutes from the gate to the seats. Listen here. I got stuck on the shuttle, and here's the worst part. I could see the track.
Yeah.
I was at COTA. We are gridlocked on a road surrounding the track, and so I could see the cars start their formation lap. I can't get F1 TV to pull up on my phone because I love COTA. There's so many good things about it. The internet service is not spectacular because there's just so many humans trying to use cellular data. My F1 TV will not load. Thank God for the Amex race radio that I picked up on Friday and didn't turn in and took with me again on Saturday.
Yeah.
Because I was able to plug my little earpods in, listen to the live commentary.
Yep.
And as things are happening, we're doing the lights out moment, I was like, something's major is going to happen. I could just feel it. I was like, I'm not there, and this is when the craziness is going to happen.
Yeah.
And then, dun, dun, dun.
Okay, so you know that meme of the pizza guy who like comes in and then he sees like someone on fire, someone's choking somebody else, someone is like standing on the table threatening somebody else.
Is that Community?
I think it is.
I think it's Community.
The show Community. That's what happened. It's like for people who showed up 5 minutes after the race started. And right away, you see that Piastri, Lando, Alonso, all taken out within the first lap.
Like not even the first lap, within the first couple hundred meters.
Yeah, the first
running
turn.
up to, yeah, exactly. Oh my word.
Yeah, that was pretty insane. And I looked around after that happened. Of course, I like filmed the start and I was like, yeah. And then I was like, oh no. She must have like gotten dropped off somewhere on the track and then stopped to watch, because I feel like that's probably what I would do if I knew. But also the bus drops you off at like a very inconvenient place to just sort of run out and watch, I feel like.
Right. They drop you off at the Grand Plaza, basically. You have to walk, and then you get to the gate, Grand Plaza. I did stop and watch it turn 19 for like a hot second.
Yeah.
But then I still have the earphones in and I'm hearing that George, who has made it through all of this madness and is now right behind sprint leader Max Verstappen, is like making some forays towards trying to pass Max. And so I was like, I have to be at the seat. The long straight, the main straight. It could happen into turn one. I got to see it.
Yeah.
And so I ran. Anyway, I was vibrating on the bus, y'all. I was like losing my ever-loving mind.
Yeah.
And you bet I will never, ever, 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 ever try to be a normal person and show up at a non-crazy time in the morning in the future. I will not miss a single moment of live racing.
Yeah.
Anyway, it was a great sprint.
It was fantastic. So here I just want to quickly loop this back. Sorry. Do we like sprints or do we not like sprints?
Okay.
Sprints are awesome.
As I was sitting on the bus, missing it, I was like, Rachel, this is your karma because you talk about how much you hate sprints.
Yeah.
And now you're furious that you're missing a sprint. But you know what? I think we got all of that chaos in the sprint and then nothing else happened. And if we hadn't had the sprint, we may have had that chaos for the main race.
Yeah.
And I would have preferred that for the main race. And so that's why I continue to say I don't love sprints, is that it's like a spoiler.
I think at this point, anything could happen at any moment. The action could happen on a sprint Saturday or on a main race on Sunday. But I still like them. I still want to keep it.
You and a lot of people.
Yeah.
And we don't always have to agree on sprints. And it seems like it's going to go your way because F1 management freaking loves them. And I was irritated because I was like, dang it, this one proves their point. But then honestly, nothing else happened. We had the most chaotic turn one. And then...
Yes, no, because then we had Ocon and Stroll both DNF'd. They had a little tussle, so to speak, where Stroll basically just cut him off. Let's just be honest. Stroll
did both extremes of his racing this weekend, and the sprint saw the utter garbage that he can be. But we actually saw a fabulous move from him in the race. He may not get a moment later, so I'll give him this. I saw this move into turn one, and I was like, wow, that was stellar. And then I looked at the timing table on the TV and I was like, that was Stroll?
Yeah.
I take it back. But it was still, it was a great move. It was on Colapinto into turn one.
That's right.
Super well done. Great pass.
Great fighting. They did. He was fighting hard. And it was clean.
Yeah.
He kept it clean on Sunday. All right.
You're right. Away on Saturday, but he redeemed himself on Sunday.
Good. Yeah. Let's give him something.
Yeah.
We'll throw him a bone.
You get a...
No.
It's not a dose. It's not a full kudos, but you get a...
Just a no dose for you.
Anyway, I would love to never talk about McLaren literally ever again.
But we have to.
But this was really major for the championship fight in that both McLarens are out in the sprint.
Right away. Essentially, if we want to talk about what happened, it was a Hulkenberg sandwich. Like Lando going up to this very famous turn 1 at COTA.
Quick little hairpin.
Yeah, I think it's equivalent to a 4-story building. You go all the way up. And they just had a slight collision. Everyone's little nose turned in. Hulkenberg was like, excuse me, pardon me, excuse me. Nope, no room. Okay, well.
We do have to give Hulkenberg early props in that he was P4 after sprint qualifying. So that was fabulous from him.
Yeah.
Not the cleanest of racing in the actual sprint, but you know how much my heart loves Fernando Alonso. But I think actually... no one is saying this, but I feel like a little bit it's Fernando Alonso's fault because he sweeps very aggressively on the very inside of the turn, which then gives Hulkenberg nowhere to go, which then shoves the McLarens all together.
Well,
and so, I mean, you have to be ballsy into that turn, and it's one of the few turns on the calendar that you can go 3 to 4 cars wide going into that very first turn. And so that's part of the reason why it is so exciting and why COTA brings the absolute just like high levels of excitement from everyone in the paddock. But that does mean that you have to really count on the fact that the people in front of you are aware of where you are.
Which is hard. I mean, that's your job, obviously. To drive your car fast, make it over the line, and watch out for everybody else. I also think, and have heard this from other people, that Piastri cut in a little bit drastically.
I think that it is 1,000% a racing incident.
Yes.
And I think even people who are like heavily Team Lando and borderline hate Piastri are not actually blaming Piastri for this.
Right.
But I think there was fault to be laid upon pretty much everyone in that beginning except for Max, who makes it out of the turn completely scot-free and takes off.
Sails into the sunset. This is what we love. Take your cappuccino, keep going, make it clean.
Although I suppose I would still want a Thai tea at this race.
Oh, this race?
Too hot.
Oh yeah, this one.
No hot coffee.
Oh my God, I would love a little like cold latte.
Lemonade.
Oh, the lemonade. That's what they should do.
They were in the cooling kits. This was another weekend that it was required that you either do the cooling kit or you take the ballast.
Yeah.
And it's still unclear about how much that helps them because we're hearing that the ice water, I don't know if it's just ice water, but the cooling effect works for only so long. And then you potentially have warm water now circulating, so it's making you more hot. Kimi specifically talked about that in the beginning of the weekend, that he just was being steamed.
Oh, like a dumpling.
It's like a little Kimi Italian teenager dumpling. Oh, that poor man.
Teeny tiny dumpling. I also want to say, so here's my my L for the weekend. I was situated in the main grandstands, so I was on the benches right along where the cars set up to launch. Perfect. Great spot. However, everyone else there who was very opinionated, and like sometimes you get people who are casual race watchers and they're just having fun, but everyone in our section was very opinionated and divided. They had opinions about McLaren. Here I am trying to be neutral. Listen, slate is clean. We don't have to talk about it. It's fine. They made it really hard to not pick a side because the cameras did them dirty. So the cameras show the first turn accident. Lando is the first one to have to pull over and stop. Then Piastri stops maybe a few seconds later, but he makes it just a little bit further down the track. So at first they show Lando off and we hear people cheering.
Yeah.
And I was like, what? Like, who are these people? Are they cheering because Max kept going? And then 2 seconds later, the camera pans to Oscar Piastri, who also stops. And then those people who were cheering said, "Aw." And then what did I want to do? I want to start cheering because don't make Lando feel like, no! Root for the other guy, too.
It was really interesting.
Divisive.
Feeling that a bit of a divide that we know is happening online, but it was very prevalent throughout the weekend.
It's alive and well.
there are 3 camps for McLaren fans.
Yep.
Number 1, you feel very strongly that you want Piastri to win and you're going to cheer when Lando doesn't do well, aka Elaine's new friends.
Yes.
In the row behind her. B, you really want Lando, and there were so many girls who... Have I got it wrong?
No, sorry. Okay. I'm just thinking, like, I felt like there weren't many big Lando fans in my section. I feel like I had the Piastri section because I was the only one cheering. They were like, oh, boo. And I was like, yeah! Yeah!
I think you had a little slice because the amount of Lando fans we saw throughout the weekend who were full dressed in Lando's blobs and that like fluoro green.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, these girls went full out. There was someone in my section who had specifically crafted her knee-high boots. They were decked out in the fluoro green and the blobs and had what's it called? Rhinestoned,
yes.
bedazzled her hat.
Wow.
There were so many Lando fans, but that's camp 2. Huge Lando fans. You don't want Piastri to do well. Number 3 is the majority of McLaren fans that I talk to, which is they strongly identify with a driver and that's where their fandom is.
Yeah.
But they are very displeased
yeah.
with the way the McLaren is handling things, such that they don't want to touch the yuckiness between the drivers that the team is creating. And so I feel like that was the most clear camp.
Yes.
Was I don't want to hate the other guy. I just want to love the guy that I love.
Yeah, it's such a shame. I want to be like, oh, this is so terrible. How can you be a McLaren fan, but then also hate one of the drivers? And now I have to eat my words because last year I really did not like Checo. I don't
Which is tricky at COTA because
Sergio Perez, yeah.
People love him.
People love him.
I was already seeing Cadillac shirts, caps.
Oh, man.
People are prepared.
Yeah.
It's going to be really big next year.
I mean, I'm excited for Valtteri Bottas. I don't care about anything else. Nothing else exists except for Max and Valtteri.
Well, championship on?
Let's talk about it. Let's talk about it. Let's talk about it.
Well, one pin. You also love the second Red Bull driver this year, and you got to meet him. Stay until the end of the episode, potentially part 2, because we may have so many things to talk about that you get a double header, because she's going to tell you about her low-key crazy experience meeting him. So stick around for that.
Yes.
Okay, you were prepping Red Bull Max.
So
championship on.
We'll just casually drop the sprint results for you. Let's just tell you that sprint quali, in first place we had Verstappen, we had Lando Norris, we had Piastri.
No.
P1, P2, P3. Yeah, for quali.
For quali. Sorry, I was preparing with my spirit fingers, and they said Piastri, who I still like, but...
You're like, absolutely not. And because of this major incidents, multiple. For our sprint race, we ended up with Verstappen in P1, Russell in P2. Do you want to do it?
And Carlos Sainz in P3. These are my little Carlos Sainz flags. Oh my gosh. What a result.
I mean, the fans were so excited that they wouldn't let him speak.
Yes.
This is how exciting it was.
We're
to
in the
see
grandstand that you can see when they pull out the little like red carpet for the sprint winners. We can see them. And so we were part of the crowd that was screaming for him. And then I got quieter soon because I was like, well, I want him to speak. But then to our left, the people closest to that setup just continued to scream because the man is a fan favorite.
Yeah. I mean, why not? It's also so exciting when he makes it to the podium now, especially because he's in an underdog car, an underdog situation. Everyone loves a good underdog.
Yeah.
I think that's how I started with Max. He was the underdog in this situation. Lewis was the mega champion. He hadn't made it yet. And now that he's made it, I'm still rooting for him, honestly.
Well, he's back to underdog again.
Exactly. So we ran into the podcast hosts of the Red Flags pod. And we ran into them last year. It was the same scenario. They asked us, what's your hot take? Do you want to give a prediction? And this time they asked us, who's going to win the race? Max. And who's going to win the championship? Max is, at this point, only 40 points away from winning the Drivers' Championship.
Which is wild because it was kind of an insurmountable amount of points about 3 races ago, such that everyone was starting to joke.
Yeah. It was a joke.
No one was entirely. I mean, I think I even in one of our own recordings said, "So we're taking this seriously now, right?" And you're like, "No." I mean,
Yeah.
it's so far. But the fact that it is Max, and the fact that he had a super September, and now is carrying that into October,
What
the
mathematically
consistency
Yeah.
is hard to argue with.
it was mathematically impossible before is now all of a sudden mathematically possible.
Unfortunately, Leclerc is mathematically out of the championship now. Not that I ever thought he was going to come back, because the car, especially at the beginning of the weekend, how happy did I look on Friday?
The
The answer is miserable.
I think at one point she was so unhappy, and she said, because Leclerc qualified P10 for the sprint qualification. And I said, but look, Sainz is up to P7. And she goes, I don't care.
Wait,
Oh, no,
no, it was about
Alonso.
Hülkenberg,
Oh,
because
was it?
I do care about Sainz,
Thank you.
but it was Hülkenberg, who I am excited about from like a storyline perspective. But no, I don't care. I was fully fixated on the fact that the Ferraris were abysmal on Friday in the sprint.
P4.
Don't care.
Straight face, period. I don't care.
In my Ferrari ride, I'm like, how will I recover?
How did you look on Sunday at the end of the race?
Oh my, I was covered in a Ferrari flag. I had my Charles Leclerc cap on, I had my Ferrari top, and I wrapped the Ferrari flag around me, and I capered through the sidewalks around back to the shuttle.
Aw.
I was delighted. That's a spoiler though, because, well,
Yes.
hopefully you will watch the race, because you should have. But sprint.
In case you didn't know, so that wraps up the sprint. For the starting grid for the Grand Prix, Verstappen qualified P1, P2 was Norris, P3 was Leclerc. So we already knew that they had a good shot of pulling it together, and sure enough, just going through the results, Verstappen P1, Norris P2, Leclerc P3.
Yes. This was such an exciting race if you were a Leclerc fan.
Yeah.
I then got online and everyone was like, well, nothing really happened. And I was like, what do you mean?
Yeah.
This was like my favorite Coda experience, even probably better than last year when he won, because there was just this constant suspense of having Lando behind him. I will say right now, if you had any unclear sense of why I love Leclerc, go watch his defense on the fastest car of the season. His moves are so well judged, such that the commentators often, but particularly this weekend, equated his defense and his driving to dancing, to the balletic precision that we obviously pursue. And that's another ding, ding, ding. This is why he's my driver, is because that precision and elegance with which he drives, while still having the biggest elbows, widest elbows to keep Lando behind, it was, as Elaine says, chef's kiss.
I'm so, yeah,
I don't even have any words.
I know.
This is what we do, is we talk about it, but I am in awe.
It was very Maxterclass. Like it was.
No, this is a Charles Leclerc class of his own. This was not
That's
Max.
shady of me.
Because they have different driving styles. And
They
I think
do.
that's part of why I really want Charles to have a car.
Yeah.
Is number one, I want him to win a World Driver Championship. But number two, 2022, that's the first season I watched. And it was Max and it was Charles battling all the time at the first part of the season. And that is some of the most exciting battling I've seen, because they
Yeah.
race so well together. It's not pulling any punches, but they have almost this sense of each other, such that they know each other so well, they're able to expect and pre-plan.
Yeah.
But again, they're not going soft on each other.
Yes.
They're
That's
hard
a
racing.
lovely way to put it. And I was going to say, I didn't want to totally shit on your parade, to be honest. But I was going to say, I'm a little bit tired of talking about how wonderful his defense is. I wish for once he actually had the car to
Yeah.
play.
Fair enough. But I have to take the wins that I have.
You're right.
And I think that is one of the things that I most value in a driver. Your offensive skills sometimes are going to be dictated by your car. Not entirely. You have to be able to be ballsy enough to make a move. But sometimes you are limited by your car. And I think that we get to see the mettle of a driver, whether they're Charles, who's not in the right car, but still at the front, or we see a midfield driver who you're seeing defenses, who you're seeing battling, and you're like, I know you're not winning, but I'm seeing the absolute skill that you have because of your defense and because of your sometimes offensive big pushes.
Yeah, and this is often why I feel like we get drivers who are out for a season or, you know, they're at the back of the grid, you don't watch them much. They are still so effing talented, and with the right machinery, they could be spectacular. Yeah. They could be fighting at the front.
Well, and Alex Albon is someone who you know I love, but was
oh my god,
reinforced.
He shit the bed this weekend.
He did, and then he didn't because his qualifying was not good.
Yeah.
It was not good.
It could have been better.
It could have been better. However, he then has some contact in the race, falls to P20. He then was sending moves into turn 1 the entire race.
Yeah.
He only made it to P16. It was not a great result, but this is one of those times that really illustrated that just because you are not getting an incredible result in the results doesn't mean you didn't drive like the most impeccable race that you can. And we didn't see much of that on the broadcast because the cameras were fixated on Charles and Lando. Understandably, correctly, no girlfriends. We saw lots of wags. We know they were there, but we didn't see any on the broadcast. Well done. Well done. But anyway, Alex, since we were there, I could see him just continue to fire moves in.
Yeah. Sorry, you said P16. He actually made it to P14. Yeah.
I'm doing him dirty.
Yeah.
Even better. Even better.
So who did make it to P16 and that who I was very disappointed in was Hajar. The Racing Bulls were not quite on it. Liam Lawson actually fought really hard for P10 and he didn't quite make it almost to the end. And he ended up in P11. But yeah, our boy Hajar was in P16. It was a little disappointing, especially because they had such a wonderful livery.
Oh,
holy cow.
Gosh.
That livery was incredible.
We could spend an entire episode just talking about the special liveries at Austin.
Yes.
Because we had the incredible, probably my favorite of the special liveries, the V-Carb.
Yes.
Which you're right, it was the tortoise shell. I've now seen a couple places. I do wish it was barbecue embers. That's what I had heard.
She thought it was like
and
wood.
I'm just going to continue to make the choice that that's what it was. Because I think that's better. I think that's more in line with Texas.
Live in your own reality.
Yeah. Haas with their stereotypical stars, which are a little boring because they did it again last year, but it looks good.
Yeah.
If it ain't broke, don't fix it. Aston Martin. I got to go to 2 Aston Martin events. Which
stay
we'll
tuned
talk
for
about
that later.
Part 2. Yeah. And they showed the science equations. And the Aramco in that like kind of lime green looked so good on track. Alpine, why'd you stick yellow on there? I'm sure they have a real reason. I think it looks hideous.
I thought it was great. I don't care. I thought it was great.
Why?
Because, well, to Rachel's point, I did hear you say, if they're going to just do a splash, why didn't they do more?
Yeah.
Why did they just do a tiny bit?
Commit to the bit.
Commit to the bit. Yeah, I mean, if you're going to commit to the bit, at least V-Carb went all the way. Sometimes I like a little cool, calm. They can do no wrong. I love them.
Alpine?
I love them. I don't like Flavio, but I like the drivers at Alpine. I want the best for them. I want them to kick out Flavio, clean from the inside out, call whoever did the PR sweep up for Horner. Look at Laurent Mekies is building his own house and it's beautiful. Max is winning races. He's 40-point deficit. So small comparatively for the rest of the season. We have 5 races left. OMG. Okay, now, before we wrap up, I want to just make a special mention, speaking of, that Sainz completely blew his luck early.
Yeah.
He shot that load very quickly. He's a 1-minute man. How many more references can I make?
Guys, if you're not getting it, Elaine is making a sex joke.
We feel the need to spell that one out. In case you didn't know, sometimes it gets a little spicy here.
A little spicy. Carlos Sainz passes Behrman, which I actually hadn't seen because it was not where we were and it wasn't on the broadcast.
I thought of one more, but I got to hold it in.
No, go.
Nope.
We literally cannot continue.
Our friends were talking about, no, we really can't put this in.
Okay. I had wondered how he got close to Kimi because Sainz fires a move in on the inside, just sticks his nose in and torpedoes Kimi. And you might say, perhaps Kimi should have known he was there, but really, even Carlos Sainz said, I kind of accept some of the fault because he was a little opportunistic in that move. He was given penalty points and also a grid drop for Mexico. So
yeah,
that sucks. So at least he got his golden P3 in the sprint, although that is nowhere near the amount of points because they definitely kind of prorate the points for the sprint based on the amount of time you're on track.
I mean, at this point, the points don't really, well, they matter,
Not
but
for him.
it's
yeah,
not.
because Williams seems to be holding on to that, what is it, P5 in the Constructors' Championship?
So they're towards the back of the grid. They won't be next year.
Nope.
They're doing pretty well.
More prize money, but less wind tunnel time. But it's okay.
And yeah, we take what we can get.
There is one last thing
Yes.
that I need to bring up from the race.
Okay.
Well, number one, Lando finally gets the move done. Good job.
Oh my gosh. I was concerned Lando wasn't going to make it. That's what I was going to say. Leclerc was holding on firmly to P2 for a majority of the race.
Yeah.
And I didn't know if he was going to be able to do it because Norris said he was overheating. Like everything, his tires, his engine.
Charles started on a used pair of softs. And I was like, oh, lovely.
Full wets.
Yeah, right. I halfway was like, Ferrari, why are you screwing strategy again? And then the other half of me was like, remember Monza 2024? 2024. The man is secretly a tire whisperer. No one is screaming that tagline for him.
Yeah.
But the guy just knows how to read his tires.
Yes.
Another reason why I love him. Anyway, so because he was able to do so many laps on the soft in that first stint, everyone else picks up on excellent. Softs are the compound to be on.
Yeah.
So when everyone does their one pit stop, other people had a couple because of damage, but this was largely a one-stop race. Everyone puts on softs. And guess what? Not everyone is as kind on their tires as Leclerc. The McLarens just struggled, period, this weekend, but they seem to, in a slightly shocking turn of events, not do super well on their tires, which was something that they were so dominant at in the beginning of the season. So Lando and Piastri are left saying, I really have no tires left. Lando backs off for a long time in maybe the last third of the race. And I thought, okay, P2, I think maybe we've done it. And then it was clear that he had just been kind of
harvesting the energy.
Harvesting the energy, biding his time, and then he was able to make a move on Leclerc for P2.
That also was a majority of the excitement for this race for me, watching all of those. He kept attacking more than I ever thought possible. He kept going and he was a dog with a bone. He kept trying, and then he backed off for a little bit to harvest that, to cool everything off, and then you're right, he made it. Also, just to put into perspective how crappy the McLarens were on this track, Piastri only made it to P5.
Yeah, it was rough.
He's our championship leader. Like, that is...
Momentum is not with him right now.
Yeah, and it's a thing. It's
such that...
It's a real thing.
Yeah. Max is, he's coming. He is looming large in that rearview mirror.
All right. So we will pause there. Stay tuned for our little mini part 2. We will be releasing soon. Rate, review, subscribe. You can hear all about how I met Yuki and what I
on a cliffhanger
asked
here
him to sign.
because it was not usual.
Yes, and Rachel also met a few drivers of her own. All right. So with that, it's legs out
and away we go.
We'll see you next time.